Welcome back, Cubs. Dire Wolf here, and we have... Introduce yourselves. Hands?
Yes, I am a helping hand. Pleasure to be back.
Great. Good to have you here. Amanda?
Hi, I'm Amanda Wolfchild.
As you guys all know, she's great. We also have Egal, right?
Yeah, Egal Matreaux.
Awesome. And we have SDA.
Hey guys, you guys know who I am.
Yes, we do. And we have a fucking white male.
Oh, yes.
Oh, is that me?
Yes, that's you, Whitey.
Oh, cool.
And this is Union Jack. Actually, I'm meeting you for the first time.
Yeah, what's up?
Not much, not much. We're just here to talk about fat acceptance, body positivity, and the hypocrisy they are in with them attacking and shaming skinny people. So, yes.
Okay. First of all, something that drives me up a fucking wall, and I'm sorry, this drives me nuts. Every single crazy fat lady on YouTube who's proud to be fat has polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that's why they're fat, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah, they're all full of shit. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. I know several people with polycystic ovarian syndrome who are not fat. I haven't, I've managed to maintain a normal weight with it, and it's freaking ridiculous, and it drives me nuts.
And we just happen to have videos on both our channels showing that you are not fat.
That's true. It's either PCOS or the thyroid. That's
I have both, by the way. And
my thyroid.
well, your thyroid will only cause, the thyroid's cute, but it only causes at most 15 to 20 pounds of weight gain. So if you're 300 pounds, you're probably eating cake.
Yeah.
Or other people.
Yeah.
I have a friend with a thyroid problem, and she manages her weight just fine, too.
Yeah.
I have a chemical imbalance that they haven't been able to identify yet that started affecting me when I started getting pregnant. And I went from weighing 175 pounds to 105 pounds in 2 weeks, and I struggle to gain weight now.
Wow.
I want that problem. Right?
It's not fun. People
I
need to
know.
lose it.
My mom has trouble gaining weight too.
It's just another strong example of mind over matter. I mean, it's one of those things that, essentially the more you tell yourself it's impossible, the more impossible it will become.
Well, to be honest, I'm not saying that it's super duper easy when you have PCOS. It's definitely not. It is harder.
Right.
However, that doesn't mean that you can't do it. And honestly, it would have been so demoralizing for me if at 13, which is when I found out I had it, and I had gained 20 pounds within a span of 4 weeks, just out of nowhere. And had I found these women who grow out beards and who are fat and disgusting, and they're like, this is what PCOS is like, I probably would have killed myself.
Oh, Jesus.
And with good reason. It's horrible. Have you guys seen that? This woman with PCOS who has a beard?
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
I'm going to show this to you. I swear to God, if I had seen this at 13, when I was already freaking out because I had just gained weight for no reason.
Is the weight gain the only thing from that, or is there other things that happen?
So, yeah, I'll tell you guys about that in a second. Let me just actually show you.
Geez, you think she never heard of a razor?
Right.
So, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
wow.
is she a Muslim?
Wait. Can I
Is she a Muslim man? More like.
Yeah, I only saw
Identifies one.
that picture for about 2 seconds, and it already just looks like the
That's
poster
what
child for the
Robert
modern
Dennis used to
There could
SJW.
be a place for people like that. We don't have them anymore.
So-
Barnum Bailey just shut down,
Sideshows.
actually.
called the carnival.
Ranting Monk
Right.
has talked about it a little bit, but PCOS is characterized by you having an excess of male hormones, especially during puberty. So for me, I was 13 when I had an onset of symptoms. And the symptoms are weight gain, sudden weight gain, and rapid body hair growth and acne are the three big things.
Good times.
That's the worst as a teenager.
Yeah, well, in part, so I went from being perfectly normal to 4 weeks later, my body hair was super dark. I had to bleach my upper lip and I had acne. I mean, I had acne before, but it was a lot worse, and I suddenly gained 20 pounds.
And you said you had trouble sleeping too?
No. I don't.
Okay.
Well, I don't remember. I was 13.
Fucking sucks.
Well, yeah, it did, and so that is like a really clear case of PCOS. When you're really fat, though, your hormones get fucked up anyway, if that makes sense. So,
No, you're right.
So it's a lot harder for someone to. So it's a lot harder for them to tell if you actually have PCOS once you're already really fat, if that makes sense. But the other thing that's interesting is that most women who have PCOS also have a much easier time gaining muscle mass.
Right.
Because they had like a bunch of male hormones when they were, going through puberty. So.
And there's this very specific reason that we don't like advertise people who are outside of it. Like, we shouldn't advertise super skinny people either, but people who are outside a healthy body type shouldn't be advertised, because there's things like, there's an African country that they feed up their daughters from the time that they're like infants because fat is considered beautiful. Well, take that and extrapolate it to a Western country. Little girls could look at that and be like, that's pretty. That's what I want to look like. And then they push themselves to an unhealthy weight, aspiring to be something they shouldn't be aspiring to.
Right.
Yeah. So sorry.
Some of the goals, I wrote them down. So this kind of brings up, touches on it. Some of the goals of the fat acceptance movement is first normalizing being fat. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Okay. Well, personally, I think it's fucking ridiculous. And honestly, that was the veritable 400-pound straw that broke the camel's back as far as my respect for TED Talks was concerned. Like, the more they started introducing more and more of this social justice crap, and the last thing that I saw from them before I unsubscribed was that talk with that body positivity speaker. I believe her name was Kelly Jean Drinkwater, which, first of all, can we just appreciate, exactly how hilarious that name is in this context? Take a look at her, man. She looked like a polka-dotted Zeppelin. Like, she fucking... Her name should be Kelly Jean Drink Butter, more like.
Yeah.
But just the crap she was saying, though, I mean, there are a ton of families, especially in this country, including mine, that have lost loved ones due to complications from obesity. My mom's youngest sister and her family died at the age of, I think she was only like 41 or 42, because of complications due to obesity. And they're trying to say healthy at any size. It's fucking horseshit.
There's a very real medical and financial cost to being overweight or having a populace that is overweight. Like, currently in America, 40% of women are obese. That taxes our medical system a lot. It taxes our financial system a lot. And it's bad for our general health.
Yeah, you're right. And the other thing, too, when we talk about normalizing it, and I know I talk about PCOS a lot, but it's just because they all fucking seem to have it, right? It's like, to say that is how you should live with PCOS is fucking horseshit, because if you part of getting your hormones straightened out and part of treatment is literally losing weight. Yeah. If you don't lose weight with PCOS, because your hormones are all fucked up, so if you don't lose weight, you don't fix your hormones, you're going to get diabetes, you're going to get heart disease, you're going to never be able to have kids.
Exactly. It snowballs. That's the problem. You're going to fucking die. Okay. So to pretend like that is the goal of having PCOS and like that's normal and healthy, it's not. Like, it's not an excuse.
It's another movement that is attempting to get it removed from the medical field altogether. I've noticed that with neurodiversity, which I just learned about, where they're trying to get disabilities like mental illnesses removed from the doctors and have it be self-prescribed. Same with transableism. They're trying to get it removed from being with doctors and have it just be self-prescribed. So in this case of fat shaming, it would be that you determine what your healthy weight is.
No.
One thing worth to bring up is losing weight is also it's a not a cure-all, but it's usually prescribed in the majority of cases when you have a problem with you, like IBS, lose weight.
What's IBS?
That's what I have, and nobody's ever said that to me. I actually have a problem with gaining weight because of it.
Well, granted, I know that irritable bowel syndrome. I know you've got a particularly awful case about it, and I'm terribly sorry. I read your thing. It's like, oh my god, I feel so bad for you. Not to, pity you or anything.
Side note, Egal actually doing the stream in the bathroom right now.
Hey man, gotta get it in when you can.
We're in a luxury streams, but thankfully the mic is far enough away from my ass.
They will. They'll tell you to lose weight for a lot of things that may not even seem weight related. Like even things like depression and things like that. They'll be like, well, okay, you're a bit overweight. If you start to exercise and lose weight, it'll help you feel better.
Another slight rant. Any woman who says that she's fat and happy is fucking full of shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Same with being overly skinny. I can say that is a fact. You're not happy at too skinny a weight. You have no energy. You can't make yourself do anything. You have to force yourself to eat. It's not fun.
The next thing on the list, Amanda, can I direct this towards you, is that the disparaging of skinny girls or healthy girls or people attempting to be healthy is another one of the goals of the fat acceptance movement. What do you think of that?
I really have not had that problem. If I dress like a mom when I go out, I get looked at like a drug addict because I'm so skinny. But if I get dressed up and go out, I just get whistles and highs.
But think of the video from Fat Girl Flo on my channel, where she openly is attacking a woman that was fat and who then lost weight, and saying that she was a bad example to other women, how it was bad for body acceptance, or sorry, body positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. You can't be upset with somebody because they got healthy and got themselves together just because you want it to be okay that you want to lay around on your ass and not get healthy.
Pretty fucked up, right?
I also, I guess maybe this is like from my own experience, because like I said, when you have PCOS and you get injected with male hormones, like right through puberty, you also end up being able to gain muscle mass, not quite like a man can, but similarly. And I got like bullied a lot in school for being muscular because like they thought it was gross, and that's annoying too.
Yeah, that would be. I'd have just punched him in the face though.
I mean, yeah, you have the muscles to do it. Make an example of somebody.
You don't pass the presidential fitness exam.
Presidential fitness exam.
Throwback.
Oh my god, that was like the worst.
I have no idea what you're referencing.
Oh my god, it's like stupid ass fitness bullshit.
Pull-ups, sit-ups, push-ups. That's all you did.
No, you had to run a fucking mile. It was awful.
That's true.
And then there's the increment running too, where they do the little beeps and they do it within a certain time.
I had the little sandbags.
Oh,
They
wow.
made us do it like we had to like prepare for it every day and take the thing every 2 months.
You prepped for it? Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's what
Oh
they
my
did.
god!
Well, what we had to do is because we had to do it every quarter, and we had to we had to prep for it for like a week.
Remember the stretches, the ones where like you put your feet on the box and you have to push yourself? Oh my god!
Literally, that was our gym class every day.
A lot of us, like, because we just got so sick of it after doing it for like 4 years straight, we just started walking the mile. We were like, we don't want to.
We just want the colorful parachute already.
Running part was always my favorite because I was the fastest.
Yeah, well, none of us were the fastest, which is why we were walking.
It's one of the fastest, but that was just because I learned to outrun my bullies.
So the next thing on my list here is Egal. Sorry. What do you think about? They want to change the culture and mindset of men to be more attracted to men that are more attracted to fat girls than.
I like a thick.
That's not going to happen. I mean,
no, it's not.
Look, throughout history, men have been attracted to what is considered healthy at the time, which is why I believe is part of their motivation for wanting to change what is healthy right now to making obese healthy so that they'll be more attractive.
Yep.
I mean, won't they have to do it like genetically? Because it's biological for men to be focused on attractive women and healthy women.
That's exactly what they would have to do. I think that's one of my biggest problems with this body positivity movement is it's to be completely in denial about what we are. You know, people forget we are still animals. We never stopped being animals. You know, when somebody is unhealthy, even without having it directly communicated to us in language, we can still see it, we can still hear it, and yes, we can even still smell it. So, you know, even if we completely homogenize popular culture to the point where, you know, it's friendly to people of all body types, and, you know, despite how much you want to try to push this on the medical community, it's not going to just suddenly become invisible to us. A lot of this is rooted in instinct, and they need to realize that.
I'd like to reference Riley Dennis's video saying basically that all preferences are a choice, that if you are not bigoted, then you are willing to have sex with basically anything.
What I was going to say, actually, it's a whole nature versus nurture debate still being played out to this day, and they've pretty much settled this, that it's 50-50.
Right.
Like, it's little psychological things in your head that you picked up without realizing it from early childhood that tells you what you find attractive and what you want to seek in a mate. But it's just as much the biological factors of this is what's healthy and this is what will make good children.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Like throughout history, what has been considered healthy at the time is what people have considered to be the most attractive, and sometimes that was, you know, thicker women. Because it meant that they were healthier and could produce better babies.
Because it meant that they were better fed. And
yes,
better
I was going to say that back in like ancient Rome or ancient Greece. I forget which one. They actually deemed fat people that it was a good thing because that means they were rich and wealthy because they had all the money to afford food and to not be on their feet all the time.
Right,
also in colder regions.
All over the world.
Yeah, and back then, people didn't live long enough anyway for you to get heart disease and type 2 diabetes and explode. So, you know.
They didn't understand the genetic factors to what they were producing when it came to children anyway, to decide that with them. Now we do. Now it's ingrained in our heads, this knowledge. We're going to automatically, subconsciously take that into consideration when we choose a mate.
It was actually a benefit in cold regions. Having someone who was a bigger weight was more likely to survive harsh winters.
Yeah.
Which that you can cut them open if it gets too cold. I've seen Star Wars.
I have a fucking heater.
Oh yeah. Good for you.
I'm sorry, but I don't think the Eskimos in their little igloos had heaters.
Well, they should fucking get some electronics or something. Generator.
How dare they?
The igloos were a mess.
They've actually evolved along with the climate that they've always stayed in. That their body's better adapted to taking in fats and things like that, so they don't get huge like people here in America get huge off of eating a higher fat diet.
Well, I mean, that's another thing. There's a huge difference between being fat 10,000 years ago and being fat now. Back then, there was no such thing as empty calories. I mean, short of like whatever form of alcohol they had then.
Yeah.
You know, things were not processed the way they were then, the way they are now.
I'm drunk, so I gotta say this, and people will probably get mad at me for it. Have you seen people with the roll of fat that goes down and like covers their crotch? What is up with that?
My God.
Oh my God!
The front
is all
butt, yep.
sweaty.
Oh God.
One thing that is bad though about if you want to call it quote unquote diet culture is just how much misinformation there is out there about like the most effective ways to lose weight.
The gummy bear diet.
And I think it's really ridiculous. So for one thing, that's really crazy is that people think that they need all the protein.
Right.
And they don't. Like if you don't work out, you need maybe 20 to 30 grams of protein a day. That's it. Like you need 2 strips of bacon and you're good.
Right.
Like people need to chill the fuck out with the protein. And by the way, unless you're a fucking bodybuilder, if you're trying to lose weight, don't buy a fucking protein shake. I'm sorry, it drives me nuts. You don't need it. You're gonna be fine. It's okay.
I think it was the same way for me with the when the Atkins diet was in full swing. Like everybody was avoiding carbs as if it was the plague. I wanted to scream at half of them. Like, do you know what your body does with carbs?
Well,
you need carbs, man.
Well, the thing is, if you want to lose weight and you are working out enough, then a low carb diet is good for a short term. short term, it's good. You just have to know that once you get to where you want to be, that you're going to have to slowly, rebalance your diet, and you're going to have to keep working out. Like, as long as you understand that, it's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There were a lot of people that didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say there were a lot of people around me that didn't notice that it had to do with balance. There's a difference between low carb and no carb. I knew people that were literally avoiding anything and everything that had any form of carbs in it at all. I'm like,
you can't do that.
Exactly. I'm like, your brain needs carbs, dude.
Yeah.
I would pass out at work.
Replace it with fats. You need to have a lot more fats in your diet. You need to replace a large amount of your intake of carbs with fats. It sounds silly, but trust me.
In all honesty, everybody is just a little bit different. And
Yeah.
if you stop eating just for the fact that you want to eat or out of boredom and stuff, and you start actually craving food, your body will crave what you need.
Exactly.
So an alternative to low carb. So for example, I tried to do it because I was working out a lot, so I tried to do low carb. And when you do low carb, what happens is you get what they call the low carb flu, and it's supposed to last a couple of days. And Jack can attest to this. For me, it lasted 3 solid weeks, and it just never let up. So an alternative to doing low carb is doing low protein. You can't really do low fat without getting way too much sugar, but you can cut out a lot of protein. And like I said, in order to do either low carb or low protein or anything like that, you have to have extra fat to actually burn off. So otherwise, it's just not going to work.
Amanda, what you said before, though, with like everyone's different, that's one of the main things that I think this fat acceptance or body acceptance thing, they don't get, that everyone's dealt with a different hand. Not things that, listen, some people are going to have it a little bit easier in terms of losing and gaining weight. Some people are going to be able to do things differently to gain or lose weight. I understand you might you might work out for years and only lose a couple pounds, and you see someone who worked out for like a month and looks fucking jacked and diesel, but that doesn't mean, that's just someone, yes, they have it easier than you, but that doesn't fucking mean that there's no finish line for you. That doesn't mean you should just give up and go, oh, my body's just not made for it. No,
Right.
Just you're going to have to intake things differently in your body. You're going to have to exercise differently with the outside your body. Things are just different for different people, and I don't understand why people just don't fucking get that.
Yeah, everybody has their own individual benefits and struggles in life, and you can never fully understand somebody else's.
Yeah, it's like, it's fucking insane. And like, my cousin's one of those people where he's like, I don't believe in genetics, which I know what he's saying. He's just basically saying genetics shouldn't be that shouldn't be your way out of going, oh, I'm genetically built like this, so I can't do this. It's like, no, you have to fucking, you might have to put in a lot more effort than someone else. That doesn't mean you just give up and go, oh, fat's okay. No, it's not okay.
Well, I think that's primarily why you explore your options and you figure out what your fucking body type is. So for example, if you're a woman, and a lot of women are terrified of gaining muscle, but if you're a woman and you are naturally muscular, like, then you're going to have to lift weights, and that's what's going to work best for you.
Yeah. See, like, this thing hit me personally because when I was young, I was insanely skinny. Like, I looked like I went to Camp Auschwitz. It was fucking crazy. And so I was the youngest one in my family in terms of guys. So all my cousins were like these big meatheads. So I worked my ass off, and I did I did weightlifting like a bodybuilder. My diet and the exercises and the fucking routines I would do. And I gained like 55, 60 pounds of fucking muscle. I was jacked. Then I fucked up my back. I lost 55 pounds, and now I'm back to kind of skinny, but I have a big ass. It's fucking weird. I don't fucking know, but my girlfriend likes it, so whatever. But I still deal with the back pain. And then, like, after this whole like 2-3 wasted years of gaining 50 something odd pounds, losing 50, 60 pounds, I realized the weight is important. To not because I wanted to be big or anything, it's because of health. Like, to think that the fat that your body has nothing to do with your health, you're fooling yourself. That doesn't make any sense, because it just doesn't make sense medically and scientifically.
Which brings us to the next topic that they want to deny medical science and focus on mental health and acceptance over acceptance of reality and physical health.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just learned about neurodiversity a couple days ago, and that fucking blew my mind.
No, it should, because it's ridiculous.
It is.
So, yeah, it really is. Like, neurodiversity is, like, it's crazy because the reason why mental illnesses are mental illnesses is because they're debilitating and they need to be treated.
Right.
Like, are you fucking stupid? I'm sorry.
They have real negative effects on your life.
Yeah, it ticks me off because my son, he technically falls on the spectrum, and it's a lot of work that he needs. They just want me to accept him how he is, but he needs a lot of help.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He has communication issues. He has trouble controlling his emotions. He lashes out and hits me. He needs a lot of help learning how to cope with these things so that he can function normally in society.
Right. Well, I grew up with my own, share of psychiatric disorders, things that I'm actually going to go into in future videos that I plan to do. And honestly, I think that's my biggest solace when it comes to this body positivity and, special snowflake syndrome that these social justice warriors are trying to apply to everything. They can only do this as long as the gaps in our medical knowledge allow them to do so. And there's going to come a time when we do understand medical science to a much higher degree than we do now. We've already sequenced the human genome, and we're already applying machine learning systems to it that are able to interpret certain gene sequences into things like the way the shape of somebody's face will be, or what kind of medical complications they'll have in the future. There's going to come a time when we do understand these things down to the genetic letter. And once we understand it to that level, there will be nowhere for them to hide with this ideological crap anymore. We will know for a fact that they are wrong.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's on Tumblr a lot, and it's self-diagnosing, where these people think that they've got bipolar disorder, they've got borderline personality disorder, which is incredibly rare, and you can't even diagnose it in somebody who's not 18 anyway.
Right.
And that's, they really love BPD. They love borderline personality disorder, and I don't know why. And they're all like 16. And the reason why,
oppression points.
Yeah, and the reason why you can't, and my psychologist told me this, the reason why you cannot diagnose it in somebody who is under the age of 18 is because it's essentially the symptoms of the disorder are you act like a fucking child. And when you're a child, if you act like a child, that's normal.
Yeah.
So like at 14 or 15, I would have totally qualified for, like, I had all the symptoms, quote unquote. But then like I grew up.
But the thing with self-diagnosing is 'cause we have a lot of problems with our with medical in America, with being able to go to the doctor and stuff. You basically, to be able to afford to go to the doctor, you have to figure out what's wrong with you yourself and find your own specialist and hope you can afford to get the tests done through them and stuff. You can't go to a regular doctor like you used to be able to and figure out what's wrong.
They want to eliminate that diagnosis and just have it be purely
self-diagnosed,
which is ridiculous.
Well, you can't self-diagnose anything because, like I said, at 14,
they've already done it with trans.
That's your only hope
unfortunately.
To afford it anymore.
Well,
like,
I mean,
I can't go. They can't figure out what's wrong with me, and I can't afford to go back to the doctor and get more tests to try and hope to figure out what's wrong with me.
They've already done it with transgender, and they're trying to do it with transableism, and the next one will be the neurodiversity. Like they've already successfully done it. Now you can get like a 3 or 4 year old to start transitioning without having to even go to a doctor outside of saying, "Hey, do this thing." Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do with everything else.
That is so stupid. That is
like
so
it's child abuse.
It's like I said, they hide in vague definitions and in things that are difficult to diagnose. It's like I said, you said you don't know why they like BPD. Well, that's exactly why they like BPD. It runs in line with all of their, essentially all of their special snowflake crap that they pull.
Yeah, and I think honestly, they use it as an excuse to act like children.
That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. Because it's hard to diagnose. So if they self-diagnose themselves that way, it's hard for you to fact check that in any way.
And what's insane is when you go to a fat person goes to the hospital and the doctor tells them, this actually was a story of a woman on Fox News, got a doctor fired because he told her that she was fat and that she needed to take drastic measures to lose weight or she was going to die.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So the truth was seen as oppressive hate speech.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Yep.
Well, duh.
But can I think what's really weird about it is that, like, for a lot of the disorders that would cause you to gain weight, a lot of the solution is to lose weight. And then when it comes to neurodiversity, part of recovering from depression or bipolar disorder or the way more severe ones like BPD or narcissistic, whatever, is completely changing your behavior and acting like a normal person.
Right.
So, like, it's
one of the biggest things that causes or perpetuates depression in my experience with the military is your own thought process. You are not engaging in controlled thought processes about your life. If you focus on those negative things and you don't, and you push away those support networks that help you stay sane, then you're going to keep devolving. You're going to keep focusing on those negative things until there's nothing in your life but the negative things you're focusing on. What's like you said, the way of fixing it is to intentionally focus on good things and intentionally put yourself in situations where you are around those support structures.
something that's really helpful, especially if you're dealing with depression and anxiety. They have like these charts, and it will say, like, here's the situation, here's what you're feeling, here's what you should do, like what a healthy person would do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that type of behavioral therapy is very helpful, and that's how you fix it. But they don't want to fix anything. They just want to be crazy and fat and, like,
they want to hold on to their victim status. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and I've been through it several times. And yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that we should be focusing on, but that's not what they want. They want to be able to hang on to that vagueness so they can hold on to their victim card as much as possible rather than act.
Yeah, and you're right. And the reason why is because
We
they're
just lost hands.
Sorry.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry, go on.
The reason why they don't want to fix themselves is because they're perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them.
Here's the accumulation of my thoughts on the topic. It's because they're fat, it's the doctors that are being insensitive, referring back to the Fox News story. It's the scales that are being oppressive, referring back to the video where the lady was smashing up that scale with a hammer. It's the patriarchy saying, it's yeah, it's
no, that video where she's like, "You will not control me."
Yeah.
On her knees.
I'm done having you ruin my life.
Or it's all healthy women's fault for putting a bad example. Or it's restaurants that are making you fat, like the McDonald's guy who got paid $17.5 thousand because McDonald's made him fat. It's always someone else's fault. It's never their own fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're living in a society that's losing its concept of personal responsibility rapidly.
Historically, there's another little society we can point to. The same sort of thing started happening. Has anyone heard of Rome?
I did a video on it.
I've said that a lot. That America is a lot like Rome, and we're gonna fall like Rome.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying the more you look into it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the video?
Stopped giving a shit about consequences, and it was all
Bread and purposes.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone was out for selfish needs and corruption, etc., etc. I'm no historian, but next thing you know.
You can all refer back to the video that Whitey and I did, and it gives a little bit of an overview of it. Just a little.
Barbarian gate, as they say.
Yep.
I think one thing about being fat is people that I guess the fat community doesn't realize. It's also
Fat community.
It's a visual factor. It's a visual presentation of something's unhealthy with you. When I was a kid, my eczema was so bad that I couldn't put on clothes or take showers. It would burn so bad. And I found out the way to help my eczema was to not eat that much sugar, to drink a lot of water, to eat healthy. And I started to realize, wait, basically to live healthy is a way to, slow down and stop my eczema. And my doctors were basically like, well, yeah. And I'm just like, well, that's with everything. And they were just like, well, yeah, if basically a lot of things, a lot of ailments can be stopped if people just find out the right way to eat, the right way to live, the right kind of healthy lifestyle to live. It's not everything can be cured like that. Like a paralyzed person can't eat lettuce and all of a sudden they're going to run a marathon, but there's a lot of things that can be helped that way if you just live a fucking healthy lifestyle.
Well, I think a big problem with this is that a lot of people don't realize that once you actually lose the weight, it's also a matter of upkeep. You know, you can't just find an easy solution to lose weight fast and then expect it to stay off if you intend to live the same way that you've been.
100% right. Yes.
And a lot of stuff too is just willpower, what you in your head think. Like my dad, he used to do roofing. He was a manager of a roofing company. And
mine too, actually.
He was climbing a ladder to check somebody's work, and they hadn't set their ladder properly, and it went down, and he got a metal rod and like 19 screws in his leg. And they told him he would never walk again. And 6 months later, he was walking and working again. Just because he told him, "Fuck you, I'm gonna," and he did. Not that everybody could do that.
No, you're right though, Pete. Like, fucking, this is a weird. I know this has nothing to do with it, but if you ever see when lightning strikes people, correct? Right. And how like I know, but it's real quick. And how a body will just fucking propel like 20 feet to the left or whatever, or it will just. That's not the lightning doing it. That's the human body, the muscle system having that person bolt 20 feet. There's so much about the body that we haven't learned yet. It's really fucking stupid to just go, oh, we know that fat's okay, so who cares?
I watched a great video just today, actually, about how the body is actually made up of a bunch of individual cells that are working in like a ecosystem where it's got to be balanced. They work perfectly together, right? And then inside each of those cells, there's separate moving parts that each have their own genes as well that have to work perfectly together with their chemical exchanges for the body to function. All these minute little relationships. And if you are out of balance in any one way, it's going to affect the entire chain of chemical effects throughout your body. So being balanced is so important to every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your body requires balance. And it's not just fatness, but that's just one symptom. It's going to affect everything else.
You're 100% fucking, there's people that dedicate themselves on trying to balance the body because you might have pain in your neck and it has nothing to do with your neck. It might have to do with something with your fucking toe. It's really that complex.
Pain. Yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, man, the more we learn about gene sequencing, the more we're going to understand things like this, like the placebo effect. We know it's real, but we still don't know what causes it. Once we figure out what causes it and we can actually exploit it to our own ends, it's going to mean a revolution for medical science.
I was watching a video on Thoughty 2. I don't know if you ever heard of that channel. But they did research on the placebo thing with people that had basically it was like stage 4 cancer. And it was, I guess, a test where they gave people placebos and saying this pill will make you feel okay, or it will just make you feel happy. And the people that felt happier, they had a less chance of dying from stage 4 cancer.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exactly right. The ones that die in pretty much the case of any illness are the ones who more or less mentally start to accept their own death because they're tired of being sick all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so there's a lot to it that we don't understand, but eventually we will. And that's the day that I'm waiting for, because once we understand it to that level, this body positivity crap and all this special snowflake syndrome that's being sprinkled all over the medical community, it will vanish because there will be no more vagaries and, you know, unknowns for them to hide in.
Well, luckily, there's only a small percentage. I shouldn't say small percentage because any percentage is sad. But luckily, it's a small amount of people compared to the 7.5 billion people that actually truly believe in this bullshit. I think some of the people that actually get on TV and say it, I think some of them are just lying to gain attention. But there are some people that truly believe it, but it's a very small amount compared to the people that.
That's
don't.
why
I was going to say I don't think you should be referring to the fat acceptance activists as small.
Figuratively speaking, small in the same essence that they're building up their own gravitational field. Okay, small in the singularity sense of the word.
I always thought it was funny when they said that they're unfairly represented. I'm like, no, they represent a lot of space.
A lot of plain chairs.
On the subject of chemical imbalances and stuff, just a small thing could affect everything, and you don't even know. Medical science needs to catch up, especially when it comes to like women's health. there's a lot. You have to find a doctor that knows what's wrong with you to figure out what's wrong with you. Like I went to a bunch of different hospitals here in Dallas while I was pregnant and throwing up blood, and they just treated it like it was a difficult pregnancy. It wasn't until my second pregnancy that actually made it, my actual third pregnancy, that I got to a hospital in San Marcos where they were like, "Oh, you have a chemical imbalance. We're not sure exactly what it is, but you do not need to get pregnant ever again. You're gonna die."
Goddamn.
And it also made all forms of hormone-based birth control ineffective for me. And if I got my tubes tied, I had a 50-50 chance of being sick all the time like I was when I was pregnant. So it was all kinds of fun.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
You meant, oh, I'm sorry, man. I keep going.
I was literally like, they told me when I got to that hospital, if it had taken me one more day to get in, I would have died or lost my youngest son.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm glad that turned out for the best then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, somebody in the chat brought up, the fat versus curvy thing.
I don't know what that is.
If you're like a whale, they're like, no, you're curvy, and so we've lost like
I thought you said Kirby, like the.
Gabriel Iglesias started that.
Like the whole, if you're a whale, you're curvy, and people have forgotten that like actual curve. It's fucking stupid.
No,
So,
you're supposed to have a curvy waist and legs and and whatnot, not a curvy stomach.
Yeah, not a mountain.
Gabriel
Curves,
Iglesias
not
is the
rules.
one. Sorry, I talked over someone.
In any case, I think we all can agree that being healthy is the ideal. Not being too skinny, not too fat. And there's a spectrum of people, but there's obviously a point where you are unhealthy. And I'm not judging someone for being overweight. I know it's their own personal struggle, but when they are overweight and they're telling other people it's okay, I'm healthy, and other people should be okay being like me, they shouldn't be seeking to better themselves. They're taking away that the wanting to improve yourself. That's when it becomes a problem. Just because someone has a personal struggle, like some people have drug abuse, and they're trying to stop doing that drug. So I'm trying to stop drinking, which is ironic because I'm actually drinking rum right now. But people have their own personal struggles. It's not something to judge someone about. But when they start telling other people, you should be like me, that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, I think that's when we should have all seen it coming, was when they started trying to, as much as I hate using this word these days, appropriate the word curvy. But like, they know that when we say curvy, we mean something very fucking specific.
We don't mean blubber.
No, exactly. We don't mean like one big ass curve, okay?
But we do. I mean, ironically enough, though, curvy is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Curvy.
I mean, yeah, sure. You could technically say it's
slightly over
curvy.
your BMI. Like
No,
maybe 10 to 20
curvy,
pounds
like
over.
like the pink thing.
The Nintendo
Yes.
curve.
Yeah,
Kirby.
Kirby.
Sorry.
Yeah,
there we go.
let's not compare the awesomeness of Kirby to these miserable pieces.
Well, he does eat everything and then comment.
Yeah, it is a good analogy.
I gotta ask you a quick question. Is Tess Holiday on your list of things to discuss?
No, please bring her up. Bring her up, sure.
Who's that?
Who?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Overweight model.
Yeah. And
yeah.
when he says overweight, he means overweight for 2 or 3 people.
Right.
I gotta look this up.
And she's like this model, as he said, and she's one of those health at every size, fat acceptance.
But is she
people.
like curvy, like thick, or is she
No.
fat?
No, she's
Obese.
fat.
Like
Not
blue
more
whale,
obese.
All right, that's not cool.
beluga.
She unironically has a
Yes, that's a good one.
tattoo on her.
Beluga.
She has a face like a pinup girl, though. That's why she's popular.
A
Yeah.
lot of makeup.
Big chick.
Oh, that's
I'm just saying,
Big
when
girls
I-
that have pretty faces, but
Like,
they
I've
usually
seen-
have good personalities. This one doesn't.
I've seen the thing where they made a heavy model skinny and showed them, what they would look like, and she would look good.
Right.
Yeah, Project Cartoon.
I'm just saying, I just wish they would stop trying to change these words to mean what they. When I say curvy, I mean like Christina Hendricks, okay, not like fucking Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, I think of like the Greek statues, where they have the little bit of extra weight on it, and it's not much, but it's just like it fills them out nicely.
Exactly.
Yeah. You guys remember the Fat Girl Flow video I did where she was actually attacking someone who was a full size, or whatever the word they call it.
Full size.
What do they call it? Full figured model who was
Supersized.
massively obese, who lost, I think, like 200 pounds, something crazy like that. And she was now below obese, still carried a little extra weight, maybe a little extra skin, but they was definitely covered in the clothing she was wearing. But she was now way healthier, and she actually looked really attractive compared to what she looked like before, way healthier. And that was somehow a bad thing. That Fat Girl Flo, who was a fat body positivity activist, was saying this is really bad for body positivity that someone would do this, that they would dare to lose weight.
I mean,
God damn it.
Narrative.
This is why channels like ours need to exist. So we can basically stand in the way of these assholes from basically taking over pop culture's view on what should be or should not be acceptable as far as, body positivity or anything along those lines is concerned. We keep these fuckers in perspective.
We try, but we don't reach nearly the audience that the mainstream does, unfortunately.
Yeah, yet. God damn it.
I know.
It's what Colbert and The Daily Show used to do, but they
Right.
don't anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, on the bright side, though, right? If they make all the other women fat, then we don't have any competition, so it's all good.
Right?
And yeah,
Real quick.
I get to feel
The
good
Daily
about
Show-
myself. I'm okay with that.
Is the Daily Show the thing with Trevor Noah, or is that something else?
It is
No,
never
that-
used
that
to be Jon
is.
Stewart.
damn it.
I'm sorry. I refuse to acknowledge Trevor Noah as the host of The Daily Show.
So is the Daily Show the same thing as Saturday Night Live, or is that something
Different.
No,
else?
Well,
they're just
they're
both
very
equally
different.
unfunny.
Yeah.
Actually, didn't it start on Saturday Night Live before it became
somebody-
something?
I didn't
Okay,
mean
so
to.
the
I didn't
Daily-
mean to.
So the Daily Show, Jack, is so you know how we watched Tucker Carlson's show together?
Oh my God, yes. I adore Tucker
Okay.
Carlson.
So it's kind of like that, but it's supposed to be funny, and Trevor Noah's bad at it. So like the Tommy Lauren thing, you remember that?
Yeah.
It's sort of like a mock news show.
It's
terrible.
political humor, basically, for half an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
But it's not humorous because Trevor Noah's
yeah,
not a funny
I was
comedian.
gonna say, you wouldn't find that out from actually watching it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
used to be a lot more about calling people out from either side for doing stupid shit and making fun of them. That's what it used to
Well,
be.
Jon Stewart, actually, he was funny, especially when he got older. I think it's really natural for an older person to be funny. It's really it's easy to laugh like when your grandparent tells a joke, but he was actually a funny comedian. Trevor Noah is just Comedy Central has they've been pushing very bad comedians on people lately with him
yes,
and
yes,
Amy
they have.
Oh, well,
Schumer.
that's the whole diversity thing.
Yeah.
Well, the other
it's-
thing, I tried to watch.
Everybody's fun.
I was on because I really like stand-up comedy, so I was like thumbing through Netflix, and I saw Trevor Noah's thing, and like it was a couple of years ago, so he was less racially sensitive, but he still wasn't funny.
He's not, no. And the sad part is Comedy Central almost ruins people's careers. Like Hannibal Buress is actually a funny comedian in my eyes, but they almost fucked his career up with the TV show they gave him, but that's Comedy Central.
My husband.
I know Milo shared tweets a while ago, and it was like, "Look, Amy Schumer used to be funny."
No, she didn't.
My
What?
husband's of the opinion.
Yeah,
that
she used to
women are
make like
funny.
Mexican jokes and everything.
There's no way that Amy Schumer used to be funny.
I gotta see evidence of
She
this.
had
I'm
to have
sorry.
been at
Yeah,
some
I
point,
have to
otherwise she
disagree.
wouldn't have a career
Amy
now.
Schumer was never
typical-
fucking funny.
Yeah, she was that typical, I'm going to just pretend to be gross and sexual and people will like it. It's like, yeah, we got it.
I don't know if it's
She had a
me,
Twitter
but-
account. Well, she has one anyway, but she had one before she got all high and mighty, and she used to make Mexican jokes, she used to make racist jokes, she used to do all sorts, and it's like, holy shit, some of this is actually quite funny.
Doesn't she?
I'm
steal shit
skeptical.
from people,
Har, har, har.
though?
That's a good point. I did forget about that. So they probably were stolen, but either way, I was looking through because Milo shared it, and it gave
Somebody
me a
else
chuckle.
was funny on her behalf.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sad because her TV show, there was actually stolen skits on her TV show. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, from Mad Dog TV.
Yes.
Not only did she
Mad
steal
Dog
material,
TV needs to be a thing again.
Mad was fucking awesome. It was better than Saturday Night Live, in my opinion.
Well, like for one thing, if you go back and watch all the skits, like they are so racist, and it's great. Like I think it kept everybody kind of in check. Like maybe don't get super high and mighty. It's ridiculous.
Right. Well,
And
I mean, they're starting to
Yeah,
forget what
man.
the whole point of comedy is in the first place. The whole idea of comedy is to essentially laugh at absurdities in our lives.
Right,
And
which
that's
is why rape jokes are funny because
exactly.
it's absurd, and like
Yeah.
trying to explain that to a feminist is ugh.
And that's why I had to
one-
say, Amy Schumer, not only did she steal material, but she stole material after the whole big thing about Carlos Mencia and him stealing all of his shit. After it destroyed him, if you're going to steal material after watching that happen to Mencia, you're just stupid at that point.
Pretty much.
You're begging for it at that point.
They need to bring
It
back
has-
the Chappelle show.
It
Yes, they
hasn't,
do. Damn it.
Yeah.
I think it was actually good that it went away when it did because it didn't start to get bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want celebrity death match.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Go back.
I want to watch these fucking celebrities death match each other.
Yes.
Oh shit! Wait, I don't mean to plug my own shit in, but this fucking YouTuber does a thing where he creates characters on SmackDown versus Raw or stuff like that, and he creates characters like Christy Winters and Michael Rollins, and they fight, and he's having me do a fucking like commentary for it. It's fucking.
That is
Nice.
priceless.
I need to see this.
Oh,
You gotta send me
I'll
that,
share
yeah.
you guys the link when it. Fuck! I wish I remembered his name, but it's fucking epic. They're just hitting people with chairs and shit.
I'm putting in the description of this video for sure. That sounds great.
I'll give you
Yeah.
the link, no problem.
Dude, I'm gonna bug you about that every day until I see it.
It's gonna be up within the next week, definitely.
So my solace with the mass media right now, I'm hearing an echo right now, but is that they are pushing the social justice narrative in the news media. I think they are pushing a minority view, and I think most people are becoming aware that the news that they're getting is not reflective of the attitudes of the country.
Right.
So
I think most people have been aware. They don't give a shit. That's why the majority didn't vote. They see that everything's all fucked up.
yeah, they see
Either that
CNN
or
as
just there's also a lot of people that just don't care about politics either.
Yeah.
I don't
So-
honestly, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I really don't care who screws me. I know they're both going to do it.
Right.
Well, I don't think it's so much that nobody cares as it is they just realize that everybody on both sides of the fence is so full of shit that you
Yeah,
really
that's what I
can't
mean.
trust anybody with your vote. So
I don't know.
I always
you
thought
can't say that about Trump anymore. I mean,
he's done what he's promised so far.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I've
And
always
isn't
been
it sad that that's weird?
Yeah, isn't it?
Right.
Isn't it sad
It's
that
like, oh my god, he's doing stuff? What?
he put out a 3-page list of everything he was going to do, and people are surprised that he's doing things on that list. Not only is he doing them, he's doing them quickly.
I was actually pretty fucking surprised.
well, see, that's the thing.
God damn.
Our surprise, even though everybody is surprised about it, it's divided. We're surprised for different reasons. Most millennials, people in their early 20s and below, they don't really understand why people in like their 30s and their 40s look at Trump as president as such a ludicrous fucking thing, because we remember all of the shit that he was involved in before he even started running for president. We remember his reality show. We remember the big, feud that he had going on with Rosie O'Donnell for the longest time. And he was like a human train wreck. And then out of nowhere, he decides he's going to run for president.
I think the reality show actually helped him in a way because it actually broadcast himself towards America as here's this rich business guy who's great at business that it was good enough to have a TV show on, and he's firing all these fucking celebrities. Everyone saw him as, even though it was a fictional thing, everyone saw him as a leader for years on a TV show that was nationally.
Oh yeah, that was definitely one of the reasons.
Wasn't Reagan an actor? Or was one of the
Yes, he
presidents
was.
like
He was
an
an
actor?
Reagan was an
Reagan-
actor.
And a Democrat,
Yeah.
by the way. Reagan was Democrat as well, just
Yeah,
like
to be
Trump
fair,
was.
he was in like politics.
It was
before
nothing
he ran
new.
for president.
Right. The difference was that Reagan was a much better orator than Trump is. Trump is a terrible speaker. Terrible, at least, at giving his ideas.
Well, you got to. This isn't that long after Bush, so he seems a lot
Right.
better.
I mean, he's still on par with Bush. Why do we elect people like this?
It's the personality.
I don't
People
know.
like to elect a personality. The reason why George Bush won and not his brother is because when you listen to Jeb Bush talk, he's fucking boring.
clap.
He's like a wet blanket. Where George, he was funny. And I'm not saying I voted for anything. I'm just saying people like to vote for a personality.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
George Bush had the unfortunate circumstance of being president right after 9/11, and to be honest, I don't know that anybody would have done anything different.
Honestly, I don't
than
think
what he did.
I don't think he saw it as an inconvenience. I think he saw it as, basically reassurance that he was going to stay in office for as long as possible. People were terrified and they were looking to him for answers. So I think it was convenient for him, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be.
And probably also the reason that Trump won is, I remember a lot, because when you see it, and you still see it now after he won, which is crazy, with the identity politics and all the race baiting and women baiting and all that kind of shit.
Right.
And the way people vote in America is which candidate is going to affect their wallet. Which candidate is going to affect them financially. That's who people vote for. That's what people actually care about.
You were
Yep,
exactly right. White.
I am
Exactly
white.
right.
Yeah, the reason
Well,
why.
that's why it doesn't really matter what your views are on social issues when it comes to determining whether or not you're left wing or right wing. It really only matters what you're what you are economically.
Yeah, what your money's like.
Yeah,
that's what you
because
care
at the
about.
end of the day, it's either you're a religious extremist or you just don't care about abortion.
Straight
I
here.
don't know. I think that's the one
Or you have a
last.
reason to care.
Right.
Well, that's true, but I think for the most part, a lot of people don't really give a shit about abortion.
Well, we've got bigger fish to fry
Yeah.
Yeah,
at this point.
The reason why
I mean, I would love
I need to fill
us
up my
to
gator
be.
tank.
I care about
And-
late term. That's about it.
Yeah.
I would love
That's just
for
gotta
us to
fucking
be
stop.
in the situation where we can just bitch about abortion all day, but unfortunately, we're not.
No, we're not at all.
We have real problems.
Yeah, like these gas prices.
If
These
you
guys
worry
would-
about education, then the instances of abortion would really, I think, drop to only those who need it anyway.
like
if
for
there was-
life of the mother.
Yeah, life of the mother, or in cases of rape or incest or a
Well, there's
severe
also
genetic problem
cases-
with the baby.
Right, yeah, where cases where you know that like the baby's going to be born without like half a head or something. and
They
you're just
test
like,
that for
okay.
that. I'm not sure about you guys, but through the military medical system, when my wife had her 2 kids, both times they did genetic testing on our kids.
Huh.
Mhm.
I've never actually been against abortion in any capacity, really. I just honestly thought that if we're going to give reproductive rights to women, that we should at least attempt to give some measure of reproductive rights to men. At least give them the ability to emancipate themselves from, whatever responsibilities they would have to that child in the same duration that they have the ability to abort, or something along those lines. But we haven't seen anything along those lines, especially because of the fact that now, when pretty much every other feminist organization that has lobbying muscle in Congress right now is lobbying against it.
I'm agreeable to that too, except for there's cases like these MGTOWs. I just saw that Danny the Dingo's video on No Holds Barred, where he's saying that they should be able to go running around and pumping and dumping women, and on the off chance, because nothing is 100% except abstinence, so on the off chance that even with a condom they got the chick pregnant, they should be able to run away from that baby by not telling the chick their name or address or anything. And they should not, in my opinion, have the right to financially abort that child or something. That was their own decision to go running around acting a fool.
Well, yeah, but it's not. It's not like
Takes two
none
to
of those
tango.
women that
It
they
takes
slept
two to
with didn't have a
tango.
choice in it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those women
Yeah,
have
but
that
it does-
exact same
no,
amount of
no,
choice
it
to
does-
sleep.
They're equally as responsible.
No, yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. They're equally as responsible. I'm saying
Yeah.
the man
And the
should not be
difference
able
is
to-
that they have no choice.
Yeah,
And
men
that's,
have
Yeah,
no
well-
that's all they're
choice in that.
saying.
But
At all.
that's not something that you can fix. You can't change that. It's just
Yeah, I beg to differ. I think that is something that you
well,
absolutely.
unless you can transfer the baby to the man, then there's nothing you can do.
No, I'm
What?
of the opinion that
Because,
if the man
well-
genuinely wants the baby and is willing to raise it and take it on financially, the woman should be able to financially abort the baby, but have to carry it and deliver it so that that man can raise it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
I have
do.
a question.
She's
think
equally
so.
as responsible. She created that life too. You can't
Well,
just
but
dump
you know
out a
what?
You
life.
can't put it all on one side.
No, it's a little bit different because she actually has
No, it
to.
isn't.
Yeah, it is because she actually has to carry
and
the
she has to
baby.
carry
So?
it.
The
A lot
guy
of the
would have to pay for it.
life-threatening.
If it's not
issues
going
that
to
come
affect her, like if it's not a case
It
like
is
mine
going
where
to.
it would kill her to
That's not
carry the
true.
baby, then he should be
No,
able to
it's
stay.
gonna it changes your body forever. Like there's there's
Well,
a
that's
lot of
true, but
no, there's
that's
a lot
your
of things that come with.
responsibility.
I understand that, but I'm saying that if
That's
I'm saying that you can't force somebody, in my opinion.
The second you
Like,
become,
No, we're saying that guys should be. It should be one way or the other. Either guys can have the option to say no, I don't want it, or they should have the option to be able to say as well, like yes, I do want it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
That's exactly
what
right.
happens
That's
if,
exactly what I've been
what
saying.
happens if a couple got, a girl got pregnant, and the girl wants and they were planning on getting pregnant, right? And then a week later, the girl goes, "I'm gonna get an abortion," and the guy's like, "No, that's my child. Also, I don't want you to have an abortion." What about that?
Well, until we can find a way to have the guy carry the kid, then you can't. I'm sorry, but you can't force somebody else to carry a child.
I think
Yeah,
this
and,
is.
and by that same token, you cannot force a man to
force-
financially fucking basically dedicate himself when he never wanted a child in the first place.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's okay
boils-
somehow.
Exactly. All of the options, even if she doesn't want to abort, but she still doesn't want to have a child, she still has the option of relying on the baby Moses law. She can drop off her kid at any fire station or police station, and essentially it will become a ward of the state. Men don't have that option either. Men have zero options. And as far as I'm concerned, that is wrong.
Break. Okay, guys. I think we're at a good segue here. We might have a disagreement we're not going to come to terms with. And also, the video has gone past an hour. So,
Oh, well, damn.
the last thing on our docket, thank you all of you guys for coming. This is also my farewell. You guys all got drinks ready?
Heck yeah.
All right.
So,
I'm going to be...
is your actual farewell? What's going on?
I am deploying, and I'm going to have
Oh.
a period where I will not have internet because I'm not sure how long it will take me to get internet set up over downrange. So I have some guest videos coming up from some of the YouTubers here and some of the ones you don't see here. They're going to be doing guest hosts to keep my channel active, as well as my wife, who is feeling sick right now. She's supposed to be on the live stream, but food poisoning. She's also going to be helping cover my channel. So she's an experienced YouTuber with another channel. She'll be doing taking on a wolf avatar of her own, and she will do a video at least to help cover me. So here's to me being gone for a little while. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Hope you stay safe.
I'm sorry I couldn't talk about the strike. That was my fault.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sorry. Just on topic of the strike, what YouTuber got striked by some body positivity person? Tell us about that real quick.
Okay, I'll make it real quick since it's basically the channel is called Beauty Fits All, and I responded to one of her videos because she was basically saying, be positive in your own body, blah blah blah, and I did my regular response routine. She then filed a copyright issue to it. It was taken down. I received a strike. Then I appealed it with the YouTube appeal process. I also messaged her twice on YouTube and emailed her twice. She never responded back. YouTube reviewed the appeal. They forwarded it to her, and now she has 10 to 14 days to respond, or else my video will go back up.
Right.
Yeah, it's complete bullshit.
It is.
Yeah, that is.
Thank you, all of you guys. You've all helped me out in my channel, or have submitted something to my done a collab with me, or have, in the case of Egal, you've done a video that's going to be posting to my channel later. Thank you all you guys for the support, and I will look forward to talking to all you guys and making videos in possibly 2 weeks from now.
Absolutely. We look forward to it, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Stay safe. Cheers.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Direwolf out.